Alright, so in this video we are going to be looking at finding the individual angles in a polygon. Now before we delve properly into this topic, there's something you need to know, and that is regular polygon. Now what is a regular polygon? Now a regular polygon is a polygon in which all the angles are equal. All the angles in a regular polygon are equal, so it has equal angles. Now what that means is, for example, if I have a square, if this place is 90 degrees, that means this place is 90 degrees, and this place is 90 degrees, and this place is 90 degrees. Do you understand? Now let's delve properly into the topic of today by taking an example. Alright, we are told to calculate the size of the individual angles in a regular triangle. Now this is super easy. Now the first thing you want to remember is how a triangle looks like. So a triangle is a polygon with 3 sides. Now so you know that n equals to 3. Now the next thing you want to do is to find the sum of interior angles in a triangle. I know you know how to do that. Let's do that somewhere here. So the formula for sum of interior angles in a triangle is n minus 2 times 180. Now we know that n equals to 3. So sum of interior angle equals to 3 minus 2 times 180. Then sum of interior angles equals to 3 minus 2 is 1. So I have 1 times 180, which means that sum of interior angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. Can you see that? So the sum of interior angles in a triangle is 180 degrees, but I'm told to find the individual angle. Now look at this. If I have a triangle, and remember it's a regular triangle, so all the angles are equal, so I can represent the angles as x. So let's say if this is x, this place is x, this place is x. Now since I know the sum of angles in a triangle, it means if I add these angles together, I should get 180 degrees. So what that means is that if I have x plus x plus x, I should get 180 degrees. Does that make sense? X plus x is 2s, 2x plus x is 3x, so 3x equals to 180 degrees. Now divide both sides by 3. It means that x equals to, remember, 3 here 1, 3 here 1, that's how I got x. Then I have 3 here 1, 3 in 18 is 6, 3 in 0 is 0, so I have x equals to 60 degrees. Does that make sense? So this implies that the individual angles in a regular triangle is 60 degrees. When you have a question like this, the first thing you want to do is to find the sum of interior angles. Now as soon as you find the sum of interior angles, you can now add the angles and equate it to the sum of interior angles. If it's a polygon with 5 sides, so that means you'll be having 5x equals to the sum of interior angles. If it's a polygon with 20 sides, you'll be having 20x equals to sum of interior angles. If it's a polygon with 50 sides, you'll be having 50x equals to sum of interior angles. Does that make sense? Now let's solve another example, and in that example I'm going to take it step by step by step so that you can get it perfectly. So here we have a regular polygon has 20 sides. Calculate the size of each angle. Now remember, the first thing you want to do is to find the sum of angles in the polygon. Now so we have sum of angles, interior angles, equals to n minus 2 times 180. Now in this case we are told that the number of sides is 20. So n equals to 20, which implies that sum of interior angles equals to 20 minus 2 times 180. So sum of interior angles equals to 20 minus 2 is 18. So we have 18 times 180. So sum of interior angles equals to 18 times 180. Let's do it somewhere here so that you can get it perfectly. So we have 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 8 is 64, 8 times 1 is 8, 8 plus 6 is 14, 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 1 is 1. So if we add this up, we should have 0, 4, 4 plus 8 is 12, 2 carry 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So this should give us 3,240 degrees. Do you understand this? So now we know the sum of interior angles of the polygon as 3,240, but we want to find the size of each angle. Now if a polygon has 20 sides, it means that it has 20 angles. If a polygon has 40 sides, it means it has 40 angles. If a polygon has 1 million sides, a very big and giant polygon, it means it has 1 million angles. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to say, let the size of each angle be x. What that means is that if a polygon has 20 sides, it means the sum of angles will be 20x equals to 3240. Does that make sense? Remember when we did a triangle, because a triangle has 3 sides, it means it has 3 angles, and we represent each of them as x. So we said 3x equals to 180. Do you remember? So that's the same thing we are doing here. So in this case, we have 20x equals to 3240. Does that make sense? Now to find x, we divide both sides by 20. 20 here 1, 20 here 1. We are left with, let's do it somewhere here, x equals to, now I have 0, we cancel 0, 2 here 1, 2 in 3 is what? 1, remainder 1, 2 in 12 is 6, 2 in 4 is 2, so we have x equals to 162 degrees. And here is the size of each angle in a regular polygon that has 20 sides. Does this make sense? Let's take one more example. So we have calculate the size of each angle in a regular endecagon. Now remember, the first thing to do is to find the sum of interior angles in the polygon. Now an endecagon, can you remember, it's a polygon with how many sides? 11 sides. So an endecagon is a polygon with 11 sides. So let's solve the sum of interior angles. So we have the formula equals to n minus 2 times 180. Now in this case, n equals to 11, which means that sum of interior angle equals to 11 minus 2 times 180. Sum of interior angles equals to 11 minus 2 is 9 times 180, which means that sum of interior angle equals to 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 8 is 72, 2 carries 7, 9 times 1 is 9, plus 7 is 16. So we have the sum of interior angles in an endecagon is 1620 degrees. But we are told to find the value of each of the angle. Now remember, if the polygon has 11 sides, it means that it has 11 angles. Does that make sense? So if we say here that let's each angle be equal to x, it means that we are going to be having 11x, because we have 11 angles, equals to 1620. I hope you understand why 11x is equal to 1620. Let me bring you back, because I really need you to understand this very well, to the triangle. Now if we have each angle is x, x, x. Now remember, these angles is actually, if I add them together, is the sum of interior angles. So if I know that the sum of interior angles of a triangle is 180, for example, now x plus x plus x is still the sum of interior angles. That is why 3x equals to 180, because it's like sum of interior angles equals to sum of interior angles. Does that make sense? Now let's go back to what we are solving. So we have 11x equals to 1620. To find the value for each angle, we divide both sides by 11. 11 here 1, 11 here 1. I'm left with x. If I solve the remaining here, I should be having x equals to 11 here 1. 11 is 16 is 1, remainder 5. 11 in 52 is 4. remainder 8. So we have 11 in 80, that will give us 7. Remainder 3. So I put points. 11 in 30 will give me 2. So approximately I have 147.2 degrees. And this is the answer. This is the size of the individual angle in a endecagon. Now remember, they could say find the individual size of individual angle. They can say find the size of one interior angle. It's still the same thing. I hope you understand this perfectly.